Parasitic diseases, identification and prevention after floods and storms. After floods and storms, polluted environments, waterlogging, and poor sanitation create favorable conditions for the spread of parasitic diseases. These parasites pose serious health risks and can lead to severe infections if not properly prevented and treated. Below are detailed insights into parasitic diseases, how to identify them, and how to prevent them after a natural disaster. 1. Why are floods and storms likely to cause parasitic diseases? Floods and storms often cause flooding and water contamination, creating ideal conditions for parasites to thrive and spread. When people come into contact with contaminated water or consume unsafe food and water, they are at risk of parasitic infections. Water contamination. Floodwaters may contain eggs or larvae of parasites from the feces of infected humans or animals. Example: floodwater may carry roundworm or tapeworm eggs from soil or household waste. Poor sanitation. Lack of personal hygiene and prolonged exposure to contaminated water increases the risk of parasitic infections. Example: wading through floodwaters without protective gear can allow hookworms or fluke larvae to enter the body through the skin. 2. Common parasitic diseases after floods and storms. A. Helminthiasis, worm infections. This disease is caused by various types of worms such as roundworms, hookworms, whipworms, and tapeworms. These worms can enter the body through contaminated food, water, or through the skin when exposed to dirty water. Symptoms: abdominal pain, diarrhea, malnutrition, anemia, and itching at the infected area. Example: a person infected with hookworms might experience severe itching in their legs after wading through contaminated water. Prevention: avoid contact with floodwaters. Always cook food thoroughly, and boil water before use. Example: after the water recedes, ensure that all drinking water is disinfected and food is fully cooked before consumption. B. Schistosomiasis, Bilharzia. Schistosomiasis is a parasitic disease caused by blood flukes that live in freshwater. The larvae can enter the body through the skin when exposed to contaminated water, where they mature in the blood vessels of humans. Symptoms: itching, rashes, abdominal pain, diarrhea, and potential liver or kidney damage. Example: someone wading through floodwaters containing fluke larvae may experience a rash or itching within a few hours. Prevention: avoid bathing or coming into contact with freshwater sources that have not been treated after floods. Example: to protect yourself, wear protective clothing or avoid direct contact with freshwater in flood-affected areas. C. Malaria. While malaria is not directly transmitted through water, it is caused by the Plasmodium parasite, which is spread by mosquitoes. After floods, stagnant water provides a perfect breeding ground for mosquitoes, increasing the risk of malaria transmission. Symptoms: high fever, chills, headaches, nausea, and fatigue. Example: after a storm, the increased presence of mosquitoes may cause a spike in malaria cases if preventive measures are not taken. Prevention: use mosquito nets, insect repellent, and spray insecticides around living areas. Example: use mosquito nets while sleeping and spray insecticide around the home to reduce mosquito breeding. D. Amoebiasis. Amoebiasis is caused by the Entamoeba histolytica parasite and spreads through food or water contaminated with human feces. It is a common intestinal parasitic disease after floods. Symptoms: diarrhea, abdominal pain, fatigue, and can lead to ulcers or intestinal bleeding. Example: drinking water contaminated with the amoeba parasite may result in severe diarrhea and stomach cramps. Prevention: always boil water before drinking. Wash hands thoroughly, and maintain food hygiene. Example: ensure that all drinking water is boiled thoroughly, and wash hands before preparing or consuming food. 3. How to prevent parasitic diseases after floods and storms. A. Maintain personal and environmental hygiene. After floods, dirty water and waste can lead to infections and parasitic diseases. Therefore, maintaining personal hygiene and keeping your environment clean is an effective way to prevent diseases. Wash hands frequently. Wash hands with soap after contact with water, soil, or waste. Example: After cleaning the house or touching outdoor objects, wash your hands thoroughly with soap and clean water. Use protective gear. Wear boots and gloves when coming into contact with floodwaters or waste. Example: when cleaning up after floods, make sure to wear rubber boots and gloves to prevent parasites from entering through the skin. B. Ensure safe water handling. Floodwaters are often heavily contaminated. Ensuring safe drinking and household water is crucial to prevent parasitic diseases. Boil or filter water. Before drinking, boil water for at least 1 to 3 minutes or use safe filtration systems. Example: in areas without access to clean water, use purification tablets or portable water filters to ensure safe drinking water. C. Insect control and prevention. Mosquitoes and other disease-transmitting insects breed rapidly after floods, so it's important to take measures to prevent their spread. Use mosquito nets. When sleeping, use mosquito nets to reduce the risk of being bitten. Example: ensure that all windows and doors are fitted with mosquito screens or nets to keep insects out. Spray insecticide. Use insecticide sprays and eliminate stagnant water where mosquitoes can breed. Example: spray insecticide around the house and clear stagnant water puddles where mosquitoes may lay eggs. 4. Identify and treat symptoms early. If you notice symptoms such as skin itching, diarrhea, high fever, or fatigue, it is essential to contact healthcare providers for timely diagnosis and treatment. Monitor health. After exposure to floodwaters, closely monitor for any unusual symptoms. Example: if symptoms like diarrhea or itching develop, seek medical attention for tests and treatment to identify parasitic infections. Conclusion: parasitic diseases can quickly emerge after floods and storms, posing serious health risks. Maintaining personal hygiene, ensuring safe water handling, and taking steps to prevent insects are effective ways to reduce the risk of infection. Being vigilant and seeking timely medical care for symptoms is crucial to safeguarding health after a natural disaster.